Hello, and welcome to day 3, final day of our course, where we're going to be finishing up our little project right here. So let me just quickly jump from perspective to orthographic view so that we can see this better. There we go. This is what we have so far, and today we're going to be using this day to finalize all of the little bits and pieces of this building, and also we'll get some two-dimensional drawings out of this. So without any further ado, let's begin. First off, I have my Grasshopper script opened right here, and I want to do a few things with it. First thing being, right now it doesn't matter what I change on this side, it will always send the information or the panels, the facade. It's always going to be sending over the facade to Revit, and I don't want that because that is a very heavy thing to do. So instead, what we can do is actually create a data dam like that. Let's just zoom into it and press the plus sign to give it 3 inputs, A, B, C, and I'm going to say, okay, glazing panels, the ungrouped glazing panels go into A input, our glazing frame B-rep join goes into B input, and our sticks go into C input, like that, just like so. So what this does, what the data dam initially does, is basically not let information through unless you allow it. So I'm just gonna change the blob outline. There we go. I just want it to be very visible on the screen, so there it is. And then from our data dam, I can actually show you this in real time. Output C connects to the geometry input of sticks. You can see that now this is empty because we didn't press the big play button. Then output B goes into our what was it, glazing frame input right here, and then output A goes into our glazing panels right here. Okay. So now you can see the facade is gone, and that's because we are not letting information through. This is very good because if we were to change something, let's say I go back and I kind of want to mess things up. Let's go to show selected. Come on, not show selected, sorry. It's gonna be under shape construction curves. And if I were to select, let's say, my curve right here, the center line, and I were to say, okay, these 3 points, I actually want them to be higher, like yay high, right? Then it's going to calculate everything in Grasshopper, and this still takes a little bit of time because there's a lot of remapping that's going on, but it's not going to forward this information to Revit, or it's only partially going to forward this information to Revit. Oh my god, so slow. So slow. Come on, please. There we go. So you can see that the mesh has been updated, or not the mesh, the facade has been updated here, but in Revit it's not, right? So I can only now if I wanted to update in Revit, I need to open up my Grasshopper right here, come on, and press the big play button. So this is how you can manage complexity, because once you press the play button, then only then information is transferred, and only then do these nodes transfer data over to the Revit side, right, of things. And now it's going to feed in all of the data, or the whole facade, you know, the glazing panels, the glazing frames, and as well as the sticks of the facade, and it's gonna update the whole thing. Let's give it a second. Or apparently not. Okay, so while this is crashing and loading and trying its own thing, let me talk. Let me talk a little bit about the state of Rhino inside Revit and Revit in general. So people started asking me to do a tutorial on Rhino inside Revit like a year ago, maybe a little bit more. And as of October of 22, I've decided that it's time. And why did it take me a year to begin recording a tutorial for this? It was because a year ago, I actually checked out Revit and Rhino inside Revit, and it was a steaming pile of crap. A completely unusable, messy, unstable crap. And I refused to do a tutorial on it. So a year passed, and now I'm doing it, and I do stand by me saying that it's usable, it's fine, but things like, and this is what's happening right now, I'm recording this with OBS. Apparently, OBS, for some reason, makes Revit crash when you're trying to, or Rhino inside Revit crash. It gets into this kind of infinite loop when you're trying to push through more than one direct shape node at the same time, which is awesome. It's fun. I love it. So, oh, by the way, if I have it turned off, and this needs to be there, if I have this turned off, or OBS turned off, then all of these work just fine and everything transfers just fine. So there are still bugs, issues, and problems with this approach, but is it better than what we had before? Yeah. Yeah, it's better. There's no doubt. So I guess that's a little bit of a rant of why we're doing it right now, rather than like a year before, and also what you should expect to get when you're kind of jumping into Rhino inside Revit. It's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be a lot of bugs, quite a lot of bugs, but once it works, it's kind of a pleasure to use. As it is right now, let me just finish up loading stuff in here. You don't need to see this, and once it's done, I will continue the video. Alrighty then. So we're back we're back to where we started, except that now we have the data dam, and I'm not going to be showing you the overall form change anymore while I'm recording. That was a very bad idea. I should have known better. Revit, when it comes down to actually changing the or working with complex geometry, a lot of complex geometry, Revit is, they need to optimize their software. Either way, the main thing that we want to work on right now, and one thing that I want to showcase right now, is right here. That's not good. See how the floor slab intersects with the glazing? We don't want that. That's a bad thing. So we need to fix this, right? We need to fix this floor slab intersection problem. And I think the solution is just to make them smaller, right? Make the floor slabs smaller. So that shouldn't be that big of an issue. I think we can do this all in... give me grasshopper. There we go. We can do this all in grasshopper. So where's our floor slab? There it is. Add floor. This bad boy right here. And these are the curves that we are gonna be... basically, these are the curves that are used to construct the floor slabs, right? So that's gonna be easy. We just take them. We offset them. Offset curve, kablamo. What does this mean? Offset plane must be provided if the curve is not planar itself. For some reason, our curves are not planar. Why are they not planar? plane intersection that immediately tells me that the curves are planar. Okay, this is being funky. Doesn't matter. We have the curves. We can easily ask, is planar? Test a curve for planarity. This gives us an approximate plane even if the curves are not planar right here. And we can use that to project a curve onto a BREP. Nope, not that one. Another one, this one. Project an object onto a plane. That's perfect. We take the curves, we take the planes, the second output right here, and we get now definitely planar curves. And we offset those, right? Then it asks us for, what's the distance that you want to offset? Well, let's say a meter, 1,000 mil, like that. And then it asks us for what's the plane in which you want to offset. Well, that's the same plane on which we projected our apparently non-planar curves. So that's the same plane right there. And that's it. We get ourselves a resulting offset that we use as our new floor slabby magic boundary, I guess. Yeah, the new boundary curve. This is starting to complain. And the reason for it complaining, I assume, is slightly off axis. That's fine. That's grafted. That's grafted. So this should be flattened. We just want to keep things as simple as possible. So offset curve, output, right click, flatten. Just to keep things clean. This is still complaining. I have an idea. If I were to just do this and do that. Nope. That was a bad idea. What if we do true, false? For some reason, I'm starting to understand the working principle of Rhino.Inside.Revit. Just keep pulling out and pushing in wires or toggling things on and off, and it's gonna stop complaining eventually. So now it's not complaining. Then we have ourselves a distance that is apparently a positive value, so it goes out. We want it to go in, so it's gonna be a negative. Negative 1,000. Just like that. So now we have a little bit of a gap between our facade and our floor slabs. Some might say the gap is a bit too much. Instead of 1,000, let's use something a little bit more reasonable, like 150 millimeters. Yeah, I think that kind of a breathing room type of a gap is something that you would expect to see in a building like this. Of course, you would also expect to see much more columns and so on, but hey, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Or actually, can we just increase the amount of columns? Right here, 4. Am I breaking it? I think I'm breaking it. I'm breaking it, am I not? No, it's happy. Well, it's kinda happy. Now, slightly off axis, again, slightly off axis, again. Let me guess, slightly off axis. Oh, everything is slightly off axis. I don't care. I don't care. Things are slightly off axis because this is a curved building. But now we have more columns that look funky. I like it. I like how they look. Do we want them to kind of go here? Yeah, sure. They can be there. So we have ourselves some columns. We have self-supporting thing. Let's add some contours, not contours, axis lines for in between the columns. Construction lines, I guess. So let's change this from perspective to ortho, because I don't think perspective is a great idea while you're still modeling. Something like that. Then let's go to level 1 or 2. Doesn't really matter. Let's go to level 2, I guess. Wait for it. And there we are. Here we can see all of the stuff, and we can even mess around with the view range, for instance. Do we want to? Maybe not. yeah, let's not mess around with the view parameters while we're still modeling. So we have ourselves these columns, and they are actually not parallel to each other, and we need to showcase that. And we can showcase that quite easily by just, where was it? Was it here? Divide curve. I need to see the Rhino viewport thingy. There we go. Rhino viewport. What does divide curve gives? Oh yeah. Divide curve gives us the 2 points between each like segment on which we later added the columns, right? So we kind of take that and we just draw. We can just do a flip matrix on this so that now we're in pairs between the two. And then we do a polyline. Or you could just draw a line, but hey, I'm just basically repeating this part, except for the cull. So we get the polyline. Then I kind of want to scale up. Scale 1D. There's no scale 1D, no, just scale. Scale the polylines according to their center points. So I will just evaluate length or evaluate curve. Maybe evaluate curve at 0.5. So / 0.5. Or just type in panel and 0.5. Basically midpoint. Get the midpoint of the curves. Scale them up according to the midpoint, and the factor is going to be like 2. So twice as big. And that's gonna be our axis lines. I could also get the funky looking axis in the other direction, but I don't think that's necessary. No one would really use the other ones. Everyone would just kind of use straight lines between the curves, between the columns, sorry. So we have the scaled axis lines. Let's flatten this out. And let's just see, under Revit, under annotation, I guess. Definitely not under annotation. It's going to be under model. Add grid. There we go. This bad boy right here asks us for grid curves. Kablamo. We have them. Asks us for top of the grid. This input accepts a level constraint or an elevation or a number as an offset from the curve. I can just say, can I just say like, oh, also grid name. I guess we'll need to give like every line a name. That's fine. But the top offset, can I just say like 20 meters? 20,000? It's not complaining, so it's probably fine. Okay, so now giving a name, I need to know how many grid lines I have. I have 12, but I need to know. So I'll just say list length. That gives me the number 12. And then I can count. So I'll use series. Series of numbers. It starts from 0. It counts for like 0, 1, 2. The step size is 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. And the count, the amount is going to be my list length. And that's my name. That's it. I have my grid done right here. Perfect. Oh, you can even see how high it goes. So I want it to be higher. I want it to fully cover the building. So that it doesn't matter which floor we're cutting through. We will always see the grid lines. And then last one is grid type. So I can do bubble, custom gap, bubble gap, like that. That's kind of neat. We can do this. This looks fine. Okay. So we have ourselves the grid, and I can mark all of this and make sure that like the axes are on, or the name of the grid is on both ends. Just like that. Okay, so we've initially solved, not solved, but we fixed the floor slab situation, and we have added the grid. What else? In terms of adding a staircase and adding like a floor slab, not a shaft and whatnot, I would say that it's better to do it in Revit than it is to do it in like automatically in Grasshopper. You can of course do where is it? Shaft. It's gonna be under model. I know that there was like, okay. Add shaft opening. Where are you? Revit host. Okay, so it's under host. Add shaft opening, and you just get, you know, as long as you give it a boundary and like a base of the opening and the top of the opening, it just creates of this kind of culling or trimming bounding box, which will generate a shaft. So that's nice. I don't believe there's a way of how you can add a staircase easily in Rhino. So for that you would use Revit, you know, and you would just kind of work here. But this is about Rhino.Inside.Revit, so I'm not gonna be doing that portion. What I will be doing though is the surrounding environment. So you could model it in Revit, but I feel like it's so much faster to do it in Rhino, so let's do it in Rhino. I'll jump in here and let's just find our land curves right here. Perfecto. And let's just kinda everything is, there's nothing here, that's good. Let me just draw a plane and just kinda something like that. Is that enough for a site? I think that's enough for a site, right? Seems to be okay. So I select my plane, I say split, and I unlock my land curves. I select the curves and I split with the curves. And then I can lock and hide the land curves again. So now I have my plane or my surface that was split with the curves, so I can use them to do different types of things. Also, we'll need to work a little bit with the hatch, but that's gonna come a little bit later. Okay, so first of all, these are the streets, and this is like the, for instance, here we have the water, right? So this is the water type of a situation going on. So let me just join this up, merge all coplanar faces so that, you know, it's actually like water thing. And I think we can just kind of extrude it down, right? So I'm just probably going to be doing that. I'll take it, Alt, extrude it down. I should give it like a proper minus, how much? 2 meters, minus 2000 millimeters, something like that. This is a box. We're gonna be using this to trim away from a larger object, right? So this is like a negative. You might think about it that way. Then we have our streets that are basically here. These guys, well, this one, or actually, sorry, that's not the one, this one. These are our streets. They go down as well, and they get extruded down by minus 150, I guess, or let's do 200 millimeters. Very thin, but still that little shadow line is gonna appear, so it's important to do it. And then everything that's left is unimportant. We can delete it, and you will understand why we're deleting it in just a second. So for now we have that. Don't need that. Wait, no, we do need that. We don't need that, that, or that. And these are like the building bases, so we don't care about those. All right, so I'm just basically trimming away the corridors for the streets and the corridors for the water. The water corridor is like 2 meters deep, and the street corridor is only 20 centimeters deep. Now I'm going to take this, let's say this portion, and I'll just create a bounding box from it. right? So we have like a bounding box here. Let me just make it a thick boy, right? Something like that. A pretty big base. And then I'll just use Boolean difference from this box, and I'll just remove the streets as well as the water. Just like that. Easy. Easy peasy. Let me show you with the Arctic view. This is how it looks like right now. Right? A little bit of an incision here, a little bit of a water situation right here and right here. There does need to be a bridge there. So let's do that. This and this. Control Shift, by the way, to select edges or faces or vertices. Control Shift and click on an object. This is called sub-object selection mode. Dupe edge. Join it up so that we have two lines, not many, loft between them. Get a pretty ugly looking shape, but we can merge all coplanar faces to make it less ugly. And then we just extrude it down, I don't know, minus 500 mil, something like that. That's good enough. And then we just Boolean union. I want this to be a single object so that it's not messy. So I just do Boolean union for everything. Merge all coplanar. Perfecto. We have our little road here. Okay, last thing is the buildings. These guys right here. So for the buildings, I'm going to just be selecting the objects here, and technically I could go into Google Earth or Google Maps and just find the correct height of the buildings and whatnot, but I don't want to do that because that would take too long. So instead I'm just going to be selecting the buildings, and from memory, for instance here, from memory I will be extruding them to the size that I think is correct. So this one, for instance, between 12 and 16 meters, it's gonna be like 14 meters, something like that. These two are a bit bigger. I might be completely off, by the way, with this. Don't check. Please don't check. Maybe you don't. Yeah, you probably don't know where this is, so don't worry about it. 16 for these two. Then this one is actually like a factory type of a thing. It's gonna be like 24. It's a big boy. These are very small. Were they small? Like there's a factory here. Let's just do 12. Something like that. Let's do 12 for these as well. And for these, it's gonna be like 8. Well, not 8 millimeters, 8,000 millimeters. And then let's do this portion right here. So that's gonna get tricky. I think for the courtyard ones, because we didn't have any courtyard ones before. So for the courtyard ones, I will do a planar surface first, and I'll select the planar surfaces and extrude them to, let's say, 14 meters. That was not an extrusion. Like that. And then these guys are like, well, this one is like an 8. And this one is like, I guess also 14, something like this. And last one, well, almost the last one. Let's say these two. These two are gonna be like 16. Okay, so we have ourselves, I'm hiding the curves immediately. So we have ourselves some buildings. Some of them are closed, some of them are open. So I'm just going to select all of them and just say Boolean. Not Boolean, sorry, cap. Just cap to fill them up. Then we do unlock. let's create a big ass box that surrounds our landscape and extends beyond. And let's use that box to trim away from the buildings that sit outside of it. So that's Boolean intersection. This box enter with these buildings. Click, 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 click. I think that's it. Enter. And it only keeps the stuff that's inside. And then I can choose to select these buildings and just group them up into one block. Call it buildings 3D. Nope. Let's try again. Buildings 3D. Please go in there, change object layer, and then this is gonna be landscape 3D. Change object layer. There we go. Easy peasy. Now, how do we get it in Revit? Sorry for the wait. How do we get it in Revit? Well, I can just do direct shape and add brep direct shape like that, and just reference in our brep, right click, set one, landscape, connect. Easy peasy. It's in there, right? If I select this, it says it's a generic model, which is fine. This is like the by far the fastest way of how we can get geometry into Revit. Perhaps it's not what we want per se. So I'm going to delete it, and I'm going, well, yeah, delete all. And I'm going to say, instead of this, come on, instead of this, I'm going to say direct shape, add geometry, direct shape, the old fashioned way, like that. That's our geometry. It's still, now if I check, it's still the same thing, generic models, right? But now I can go in here and I can change the material, I can change the category. So let's change the category of it. Or, sorry, perhaps the category does need to be the same. Let me just quickly go through this. Give me a second. I could use furniture. Okay, that. I could say hardscape as well. Okay, sure. Let's go for hardscape. Wait, where is it? Hardscape. Bam, that's the category. Easy peasy. Nothing really changes, neither in Rhino nor in Revit, except that now if I select this, it's gonna be hardscape, a hardscape model, right? So that's the thing. And then for this, for the material, I can convert material, and I will use a swatch, just a simple color swatch, and we'll say it's, yeah, sure, it's white, and it can be a little bit transparent. Or we can stick to it being, you know, a solid color. Up to you. Can also be dark if you want to, but you know, it's already, everything's kind of dark, so I think bright is better. So we're sticking to this. Okay, then all I need to do is just take this, copy, paste, like that. Change the category from well, let's search generic, or for generic models you don't need to add the category, it already it will automatically add it. It will automatically say that it's a generic model. Also, by the way, you can change the name. Perhaps we should do that just for the sake of pedagogy. Landscape. Bam. And this is surrounding buildings, like that. Clear values, and let's just select our buildings that are grouped, right? Set multiple, like that. And then get confused as to why it's not oh yeah, it is importing. I got confused for no reason. It's weird. Anyway, we have ourselves, let's minimize that. We have ourselves environment, like a surrounding environment. Yay. Okay. What else is there to do? I guess that's about it, because this is an introduction course, right? So we're not going to dive too deep into it. I am going to make a lot of new I'm going to make a lot of tutorials about this, not precisely this, but about how you can use the strength of Grasshopper with Rhino in Revit through Rhino.Inside.Revit in the future. So if you like that kind of stuff, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. In terms of glazing here, I can kind of show you one little trick that I would do. So let's say we want to add the glass, right? And this is gonna be the last thing that we do before I actually finish up. So and start actually creating drawings. So glazing. Let's say you want to fill in this area here, or you want to fill in the entrance area there with glazing. You can do this in Revit, you know, but in Rhino it's a little bit easier, or in Grasshopper it's a little bit easier, because you already have this whole form, this whole space, this whole face here. So I'm going to open up this whole setup. I wanted to say setup and I forgot the word, so I just kind of used random words. Let's hide this, and let's hide everything here, like so. And I kind of want to bake out the floor slabs, because the glazing is going to be in between. The curtain walls are going to be in between the floor slabs, right? So I'm going to bake this out. Insert. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And I also, what else do I want? I want the overall shape, right? Because I need to know how high will this glazing go. So I need to bake out this bad boy right here. There we go. Easy. Okay. Then what do we do? Then we don't really need Grasshopper for this. Let me hide everything here, because everything we need to get the curves out is already here, right? Let's change this to ghosted view, right? And we already have everything that we need kinda here. So first of all, creating the profiles for the future walls. I will just take that edge right there, that edge right there, that edge. Okay, fine. I'm gonna draw a line there, line there, line there. Where else? Right there. Am I? Yeah, that's correct. And right there. So many. Two. This one actually could be one big one, but we're already doing this, so might as well keep doing it. Just like that. That seems okay. And I'm going to say, now I don't need the floor slabs, honestly, so I'm going to, no wait, I do. I'm being stupid. I do, but I need to lock everything except the curves. So now everything here is locked and I only have the curves. And I'm going to extrude them, but I'll use Gumball snappy dragging. This is actually a pretty useful tool. If you're not using it, use it. As you're extruding, you can snap to things. So I'm gonna extrude this surface right here, which, you know, that little point right there needs some love. So I can just kind of move it until here. And now this is a problem. Very, very curious. A very peculiar problem. Okay, that's fine. For now, let's just extrude it and then we'll figure it out. Extrude it like that. Extrude it like that. And last one just kind of keeps going. Okay, that's good. Then we have this one, which is going to be also extruded. Come on, please work with me. Oh, I locked it accidentally. Try again. And we extrude it until here. Okay, that's easy. Then last one, this until here. Until here. And just go straight up. Okay. We have ourselves some surfaces. Yay. Now we need to make sure that they intersect with the envelope so that we can trim them. So I'm going to take them and I'm just going to scale them. And thankfully, I think at least the ends are going to be aligned with the x-axis. So scaling it is going to be easy. So we just do that. And then this bad boy right here, we can just use scale 1D. And let's just say from midpoint, if it lets me grab one, midpoint to this point, and then just kind of scale out. Okay, that's it. That works. Then we can unlock. Unlock. Take our form right here. Actually, I want like a... Here, I want like a little balcony situation. So I'm just going to give it like 1.2 meters inwards. And maybe here as well. So I'm kind of pushing them in. Like that. And here I don't care. So I'm going to keep it the way it is. Then we say trim. We just trim, trim, trim. Trim off the sides, just like that. Once this forgot that one, come on, give it to me. There we go. Once that is done, I don't need neither the slabs nor the overall form anymore. I only care about these surfaces, and actually not even the surfaces. Dupe border. I only care about the outer lines, right? Because that's where the glazing is gonna be. Then we go back into Revit or Rhino, Grasshopper. Too many softwares. Too many softwares. Okay, we go back into these, and then we start experimenting. We start checking things out. So let's maximize this. Let's go in here. Let's find which one is which. Let's do one first. Curve. Is this the lifted version? Yeah, this is the above ground. So I need, yeah, right here. This is gonna be it. Why is this so... No, this is not normal, right? I forgot to trim this, didn't I? Undo. Yeah, I'm stupid. Yeah. Come on, Gediminas, you can do better. Try harder. Give me a second, sorry about this. Should pay more attention as I'm recording. Less jokes, more attention. More attention paid. Okay. So let's grab a complex one, you know, this one for the flying portion of the building. Set one curve, and what we want to do with this is make it into curtain wall. So under wall, we're going to choose add wall, but not curve, rather add wall profile. profile, like that, a lot of questions it asks us. First one is, what's the profile? Well, here it is. That's it. It creates a wall. Well, it's kind of creates a wall. Line is kind of slightly off axis. That's typical. We don't care. We have the type, we have the level, we have the location, and we have the, is it flipped or not? Allows joints. I have no idea what this means. Whatever, I'm gonna keep it as default. And structural usage, it's not gonna be structural, so we don't care about the last two. First one because I don't know what it means, second one is because it's not structural. The type of the wall. If I right click on the type, I can go to model, model, category filter, expand that, choose walls, and under family filter, choose curtain wall. And here you have three options, either curtain wall, exterior glazing, you can see how that looks like, and storefront, how that looks like. Storefront doesn't like curved things, so we're gonna be using exterior glazing for this. Even though like the panels are a little bit, you know, wonky, but that's fine. Like the framing is not that aggressive, but it is what it is. It's not self-supporting, so it's fine. Elegant, some might say. Then we have level. To which level is this associated with? So we need to actually grab levels. Where are our levels? There we go. These are all of our levels, and I'm going to do a trick that I like doing, but it's a little bit more. You really need to know what's up with your Grasshopper script to use this, or else you're gonna get lost. But just bear with me. If you double click and you type in levels or level and just use this node, you can connect your levels to the level empty level container, right? And you can technically just drag it all the way down here. The problem is the long wire, the problem is the long ass wire, right? That you get from levels to your level node right here. How do you fix that? Well, zoom in, right click on the level node and choose wire display, hidden. And now when it's not selected, it's just gonna show you a wireless receiver type of a thing. And basically it's that all of your levels are now here. All four of them. Then I can use list item to get level 1, 2, 3, 4, all four levels, right? So why do we do this? Well, because for different curves, different levels should be assigned. That's natural, right? So first I will do for every level I will do this kind of a thing. So let's do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then all of my set multiple curves, all of my level 1 curves are gonna be here, like that. Input normal vector is not perpendicular to the face constructed from input curves. Okay. Of course, so, it's always something. Set 1 curve. So this one's happy. What if this one? Set 1 curve. This one's happy. Okay. I have a feeling that these two curves can't really work together. Give me a second. Graphed. Yeah, okay, they can. You just need to have these curves grafted. So go through every input, right click, graft. So this will enable you to have more than one line. So they arrive in separate lists basically. And that is our, for level, that's our level 1. Perfect. Then level 2 is going to be these two bad boys right here. Set multiple, level 2. Then for level 3, set multiple, these two. And for level 4, these two. I'm very curious to see what... Yeah, this seems okay. I mean, not great, but it's fine. And like there's the glazing and whatnot. And you, of course, you can add stuff later in Revit. Why is this complaining? Line sketch slightly off. Yeah. Okay, level 2, level 3, level 4. Then we have location line. Apologies, I don't know what that means. I can't explain it to you right now. And also we have, is it flipped or not? So basically from this profile, to which side does it go to, right? Also, why is there like a slight offset there? Whatever, whatever. Let's look at it in Revit. Yeah, that looks like a typical, you know, glazing that you get in Revit. So that is, I would consider a little bit less parametric, but I think not everything needs to be parametric, so that is done. Let's switch to perspective, save the project, of course. At this point, the project is a little bit on the heavy side, but that's fine. For some reason, the glazing doesn't transfer there. What's up with that? Hello? Glazing? Do I really need to... Wait, it doesn't transfer anywhere. It stopped showing up. Hello? Disconnect, reconnect. Disconnect, reconnect. Okay, now it's there. So again, a little bit unstable, a little bit, you know, finicky, but you can make it work. If you don't want to deal with Grasshopper, like sometimes transferring information, sometimes not transferring, don't forget that you can always release the elements right here. Release elements created and tracked by Grasshopper, and at that point you're working only exclusively in Revit. So every time you will want to update something from Grasshopper, you'll need to delete the elements in Revit. You can also do it this way here. You can just right click any node that sends information to Grasshopper and choose next to my face, right there. Wait, variable, show, error mode, tracking mode. It's not here. Usually it's here. That's weird. Oh, right. It's right there. So you need to click on the output right there, and it's going to be, where is it? Highlight, unpin, delete, release elements. That one. This one right here. So you click that and then it becomes a thing in Revit rather than a thing in Grasshopper. I'm not going to be doing that because, again, Rhino.Inside.Revit tutorial or course. Whew, we are done. Let's make some sections. So I'm going to actually let's make a site view or site plan. So I'm just going to duplicate level 1. Duplicate view. There we go. I'm just going to rename it to site. Then I'm going to go to view templates, and I think there's not manage, sorry, view templates, apply a template, and site plan. There's always like a default site plan template here. So we're getting something like this. And perhaps in the site plan, I can also do a quick section. So section or 2 sections, 1 section like so. Yeah, something like that should do the trick. Just make it so it grabs the surrounding buildings a bit. Something like that. Where's our site? Why is there only buildings here? Hello? Site? Okay, landscape. Come on, landscape. Disconnect, reconnect. Or is it just because of, yeah, it's just because of how the site is looking at things, so we can fix it in depth clipping. Oh, there's no clip. View range, view depth, unlimited. Yeah, so that fixes it. Okay, now we have our site. Where was I? Creating sections. Section 1 is kinda done. Yep, and we're cutting through the whole site, so that's fine. And then let's make section 2. Let's just say something like that should be fine. Yep. Wait for it. Okay, drag this out a bit so that it actually cuts through. Maybe it's a wide boy. Like that. And can we see far out? Let's just go until here, or a bit longer, like that. Okay, let's look at the sections. Section 1. Because I want to show you, you know, the strengths of this. And section 2, I'll need to lift this high up. Only axis 5 for some reason is caught in section 2 or section 1. That's weird. I think it's because they're slightly off axis for everything else, and only axis 5 is looking directly at the camera. That might be the case why. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Either way, we have our little section here. Let's take a look at what we can do with it. Oh, that looks disgusting. So you can see here, if I zoom in, this is pretty darn good. I mean, everything is aligning properly, everything is connecting properly. It just fits, right? But stylistically speaking, I kind of want to do a few more things with it. So first of all, let me apply architectural section preset. Okay, it won't change much, but it's gonna be a good kickoff point, because I'm just used to it. And then in visibility and graphics, first of all, remember what we used as types for different things, right? So for glazing, we used, let's go in here, glazing panels. That's gonna be curtain panels. There we go. And wherever they are not cut, but wherever they are just shown, I can change the transparency of them first of all. So let's do like 50%. Okay, hit apply, and now you will be able to see that through the glass the panels are gonna show up, right? That's nice. Then wherever we're cutting through a generic model or hardscape, first hardscape, hardscape, there we go. Whenever we're cutting through a hardscape, the pattern is going to be diagonal down, like that. Or we can use, you know, whatever we want, but I'll just use that diagonal down pattern. Where was it? This one. And color is gonna be black, of course. Apply. And, you know, it's getting cut. Just like so. Perhaps I want it to be much heavier, so I can just say, well, it's being hatched, but also I want a solid fill as the background for it, and it needs to be like this dark gray color, let's say. Something like that. Okay. Then we changed the, or actually for the glazing, let's go back in here. The pattern, I kind of want a color, so solid fill, and let's just change this to almost gray, but kind of a little bit bluish tint, just to make it a little bit heavier, just slightly. Yeah, that should do the trick. Now, of course, the floor slabs need some love, some attention. F for floors, cut. It's just gonna be black, isn't it? Yeah, let's just use black. Okay, floors are black. What else is black? Well, these frames, like as we're cutting through the what we call sticks, they should also be black, as well as the frames that are holding the sticks. So curtain wall mullions are, the cut pattern is solid fill, color black, as well as what were the sticks? I need to double check. I don't remember. Where's my grasshopper? Grasshopper, hello, please. Oh, I need to apply this. Can't have too many windows open. Then we click grasshopper and we zoom out and we fish out our sticks, and the sticks are also curtain wall mullions. Okay, so this should actually, after applying, it should, yeah, it does color everything, you know, whatever we want it to color. It's great. That's great. And then for the generic models, which are only our surrounding landscape, let's go back in here, view, visibility and graphics, or actually let's keep them white, I guess, because they're kind of in the back this way. So I'm happy with this. You know, this seems like a decent, an okay drawing, right? I could start unpinning and like messing around with it here, but let's keep it the way it is. Also, the abrupt ends in terms of design are not that great, but you know, small steps. Then for section 2, I kind of want to apply the same graphics, but I don't think I will bother you with that. For this, we will just kind of keep the same way. Also, I could just make a template and reapply the template, you know, from this section to this section, but here I'm just gonna have it the way it is. Just want to see that line there. Come on, calculate. There we go. In terms of shadows and whatnot, we can mess around with the shadows as well here. So if I were to need to remember sun settings, there we go. Single day, no, still like that. And then here I just changed the address. Malmo. Search. Malmo, Minnesota? No. Sweden or Copenhagen. That's gonna be the same thing. Copenhagen, Australia. Are you kidding me? There must be like a better way of how to do this. Okay, Malmo, please. Can I? I'm not sure if I'm clicking correctly. Okay. Let's check. What's the location? Oh my god. Really? Default city list. City. Copenhagen, Denmark. There we go. Okay, that was stupid. Apply that. This is 8 p.m. So most likely not 8 p.m. Let's do like 6 or 5 p.m. on October, not October. Well, it can be October, but like a little bit earlier in the month. So that's 5. Okay, let's do 4. Yeah, something like that. Something like that should be fine. Right. So we can get some shadows in here, and then if I want to, let's jump back to section 1, visibility and graphics. If I remember, no, sorry, view templates, create template from current view, name this cool section. Wait for it. Yep, there we go. Hit OK. Go back to section 2, view templates, apply. Find our cool section, apply. It's gonna think for a bit, but then we're gonna get all of the hatches that we want in here. There we go. Where's my shadows? Hello? Shadows? I can see that the shadows have been... Huh. Oh, never mind. I need to click it. Now they're here. But my light has been... No, not a solar study. Oh, no. Escape that. Escape that. No. Send settings. Is that just gone? No, it's not. Okay. That's good. Oh, well, except for the time of the day. Spring equinox, and let's do 4 p.m. Yeah, that's good enough. That's fine. There's an intersection there. I messed up. Scrap the project. Scrap the project. It's bad now. Also, the shadows here are real funky. I wonder what's up with that. I think it's the shadows from the elements. Oh yeah, it's definitely the shadows from the elements. So Revit is having real trouble calculating those. That is okay. That is okay with us. We also need to go to visibility and graphics, generic models, and whenever we are cutting through a generic model, it needs to have a solid fill with a light gray color. So that we know what we're cutting through. Or actually, is it possible to just kind of no, it's not. Okay. So let's just do it real quick. Diagonal down, black, solid, mid gray, or dark gray actually. So same for both of these. Hit OK. We're happy. We're happy. That's it. Honestly, I can't work more with this because I will start actually modeling this too much, and we'll just start working on this too much. I'm happy with how it is right now, and I hope that you're happy too. If you want these files, all of the files, like the Grasshopper, the Rhino, the Revit file, everything is going to be available for the Patreon supporters. So check out the link in the channel, in the video description below. Also, as I mentioned before, I am going to be doing much more of stuff like this in the future, in the near future. So if you want this kind of stuff to, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, just subscribe so you don't miss it. Because goddamn, it's there are so many of you who are not subscribed. Okay, we're done. We're done with this one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned something new, and I'll see you in the future videos. Later.